When two people are truly meant to be together, there is one pattern that never breaks. It does not matter how different their worlds are or how unexpected their crossing feels. Music, this one truth always appears first. Most people believe destiny looks warm and beautiful from the very start. They think it arrives as instant ease, effortless love, and a feeling that everything has finally clicked into place. They imagine music, two people meeting, smiling, and knowing without doubt that this is it. But real destiny does not operate like that. Real destiny music arrives quietly and then tears everything open. It does not deliver peace at first. It delivers disruption. When two people are genuinely meant for each other, the universe does not push them immediately together. Instead, music, it builds distance. It pulls them apart, challenges their assumptions, and forces them to confront themselves. It destroys illusions they did not even realize they were holding. Music, and this is not cruelty, this is preparation. Because her music, before two destined people can truly unite, they must first be remade. If two people are truly meant to be together, there is one thing that nearly always unfolds. Many people believe destiny looks like instant hey music joy. They picture two people meeting, everything snapping into place, and life suddenly becoming easy and smooth. But in music, real destiny does not arrive in such a gentle manner. Real destiny, usually music, enters your life by shaking it first. When two people are genuinely meant for each other, the universe does not rush them toward love. Instead, her music, it often drives them apart. It shatters their false beliefs, challenges their assumptions, and reshapes them as individuals. This pattern surfaces again and again. Her music, and that is the one thing that always happens. People frequently misunderstand what destined her music love truly is. They believe it should feel comfortable from the beginning, a music like a refuge where nothing causes pain. But destined love rarely begins with comfort. It begins with recognition. The first signal of a deep, meaningful bond is not peace. It is recognition. You meet someone, share music, and something within you responds before your mind has time to music process what is happening. You may not feel calm. You may not feel secure. You may not even feel certain about them, yet you feel seen in a way that unsettles you. It feels like they notice layers of you that you usually keep buried, even music from yourself. This can feel disorienting because most people expect love to feel soothing and reassuring. Hey music, but destiny often feels uncomfortable at first. This discomfort does not mean the person is wrong for you. It usually signals the opposite. Music, it means they reflect parts of you that you have been avoiding. They mirror your fears, your wounds, her music, and your unresolved emotional work. They do not see only the version of you that you present to the world. They see beneath that surface, and that can feel threatening. That is why destined music connections often feel intense rather than easy. They bring awareness before they bring closeness. This is also why people who are meant to end up together rarely remain together at the beginning. If two people are truly destined to build a future, life almost always separates them early on. This separation is not accidental. It happens for clear reasons. One person's music may still be carrying deep emotional wounds. One may be afraid to open and be vulnerable. One may not yet hear music recognize their own value. One may love from a place of fear instead of wholeness. Sometimes both people are still unfinished, and unfinished people, even with genuine intentions, can wound each other deeply. So destiny music steps in and creates space. It says not yet. It understands that if these two people came together too soon, they would damage what could become something extraordinary. The separation, as painful as it feels, is part of the design. It is not punishment, it is preparation. When destined music people are separated, the pain feels unlike ordinary heartbreak. It is not only sadness, it is confusion. It feels like losing footing. You do not simply music miss the other person. You feel as though something inside you is hollow. Her music, this happens because destined connections are not tied to the ego. They are linked to growth. When such a person exits your life, it forces you to look inward. It pushes you to confront things you have been avoiding for a long time. You begin to notice your fear of being left behind. You see how desperately you seek validation from others. You recognize your pattern of giving everything of yourself to keep people near. You become aware of how you dodge taking music responsibility for your emotional needs. These realizations are painful, but they are essential. The pain you feel is not meant to destroy you. Her music, it is meant to awaken you. Destined love is a way of reshaping you silently. Even when there is no communication, music, even when there is silence, something shifts inside you. Even when logic urges you to move on, even when there is no contact at all, you begin to transform. You become more conscious of yourself. You become more discerning about who you allow into your life. You start being more truthful about your music, emotions, and your limits. Things you once accepted no longer feel tolerable. Situations, music you used to endure now feel exhausting. People you once pursued, music no longer carry the same pull. You begin to desire depth instead, music of hollow attention. You hunger for real connection rather than temporary distraction. Often you do not even recognize that this growth to music is connected to that one person. But the change began the instant Hey music entered your life. They acted as a catalyst. They set a process in motion within you. This kind music of connection does not manufacture obsession. It creates reflection. You do not lose yourself thinking about them constantly. Instead, you have music begin thinking about your life, your patterns, and your choices. You reflect on who you are and who you are becoming. You begin asking yourself deeper questions. Why do I love the way I do? Why do I fear music closeness? Why do I settle for less than I deserve? These questions slowly rebuild you. Destined connections to music work in ways that are not visible on the surface. They may vanish from your daily music life, but their imprint endures. They shift how you see relationships. They shift how you see yourself. They raise your standards not just for music others, but for your own behavior and sense of worth. They teach you that love is not only about being present together. It is also about music becoming complete on your own. Over time, you may notice that you are no longer willing to hear music repeat old cycles. You stop pursuing people who cannot reach you emotionally. You stop dismissing red flags just to feel chosen. You start valuing peace, truth, and mutual effort. This growth music feels organic even though it was born from pain. And that is how you know the connection held meaning. Destined music love is not loud. It does not always remain. Sometimes it comes, transforms you, music, and leaves. Sometimes it leaves so that you can become the version of yourself that could one day sustain in music, real love. Whether the person returns or not is not always what matters. The purpose was the transformation, the awakening, her music the redirection toward a deeper, more conscious way of living and loving. When two people are truly meant for each other, their story does not follow a straight path. It moves through distance, confusion, and a music inner work. It demands growth before union. And that pattern again and hey music again is the one thing that always happens. You think about them during moments when you are growing more conscious of yourself, during times when you are quietly changing from the inside out. A music during nights when everything around you grows still and your thoughts become louder than the world. You think of them during emotional breakthroughs that arrive without warning. Moments when you suddenly understand something about yourself that you had never seen before. You are not thinking of them because you are lonely. You are not thinking of them because you need attention or reassurance. A music, you think of them because something deep within you understands that the connection carried weight, music, and that weight has not fully settled yet. Your soul recognizes unfinished lessons. Music, it recognizes that something vital was activated through that connection. This is not weakness. This is not obsession. This is not attachment in the way people commonly describe it. This is integration. It is your inner world trying to music place an experience where it belongs, trying to absorb what it revealed and trying to understand how music reshaped you. A destined connection does not fade simply because time passes. It remains present in quiet ways. It surfaces when you grow. It surfaces when you heal. It surfaces when you shed old versions of yourself. That's because the connection was never only about romance. A music, it was about transformation. Many people wonder why a connection like this cannot music be replaced. They attempt to replace it. They meet someone new. They enter different relationships. They distract themselves with conversations, activities, and routines. They convince themselves that moving on means forgetting. Sometimes they even hear music, believe they have succeeded. Life looks normal again, they laugh. They socialize and music they press forward. But beneath the surface, something feels unresolved. There is a subtle music hollowness that refuses to lift. Not because the new person is unkind, not because the new relationship lacks music effort, It exists because the new connection does not awaken the same depth. It does not challenge hey music the same parts of the soul. A destined connection does not compete with others. It exists hey music on an entirely different level. This type of connection is not built on attraction alone. It is not about hey music thrill or chemistry. It is not about comfort or familiarity. It is about evolution. It is about becoming more truthful with yourself. Hey music, it is about being compelled to face parts of yourself you may have buried for years. Destiny works on both people separately before it ever draws them hey music back together. Distance is not a punishment. It is a classroom. While the two of you are apart, life is sculpting you in different ways, often through discomfort. One person begins to learn boundaries. They hey music learn how to say no without shame. They learn how to stop giving more than they receive. Hey music, they learn that love does not require self-destruction. They learn that choosing themselves is not selfish, it is survival. The other person begins to learn accountability. Hey music, they learn that silence can cut deep. They learn that avoiding emotions does not dissolve them. They learn that actions hey music carry consequences even when intentions were unclear. They hey music learn that real connection requires responsibility. One person learns self-worth. They stop a music accepting uncertainty as evidence of love. They stop waiting for clarity that never comes. Hey music, they realize that consistency is everything. The other learns emotional courage. They learn how to sit with discomfort instead of fleeing from it. Hey music, they learn how to face vulnerability instead of escaping it. One person learns how to stop chasing. They understand that love cannot be forced. They see that pursuing someone who is not ready only breeds imbalance and hey music pain. The other learns how to stop retreating. They discover that distance and music does not shield them from loss. It only postpones growth. Both people are changing. Hey music, but neither can see the complete picture yet. This is deliberate. If they saw everything too early, growth would stop. The unknown creates room for music transformation. Before destined people can reunite, illusions must shatter. By the universe, music dismantles false beliefs slowly, often painfully. Beliefs like a music love should never be hard. Beliefs like if someone truly cared, they would always stay. Beliefs like love must be earned through het music suffering. Beliefs like another person is meant to complete you. These ideas feel comforting, but they poison real love. They breed dependence. They breed music fear. They breed expectations that no human being can ever fulfill. So life strips them away. This stripping does not happen softly. Hey music, it happens through silence. Through distance, through disappointment, through moments when you are forced to sit alone with your thoughts. You begin to see yourself clearly. You begin to identify patterns. You begin to understand music where you abandoned yourself in the past. You learn that love is not designed to rescue you. You learn that another person cannot fill the spaces you have not healed within yourself. You learn that true connection begins with wholeness, not emptiness. There comes a moment when something inside music you shifts. You stop needing them. You stop scanning for signs. You stop waiting for a message to rewrite your life. You stop hoping that their return will finally make you feel complete. And that moment is hey music, not bitter. It is peaceful. This is where destiny begins moving again. Not because you tried harder, but in music, because you released the need for an outcome. Real love is not dependence, it is a choice. When both people can stand alone, when love becomes a desire rather than a survival mechanism, alignment begins. If they return different. They return more aware. They return capable of something far deeper than before. And if they do not return, the lesson still stands. You are no longer the same music person who entered the connection. You are stronger, clearer, more grounded. You have absorbed what was always meant to be learned. That is the truth of destined music connections. They are not about possession. They are about transformation. They enter your life not to remain forever in the same shape, but to awaken you, change you, and guide you a music toward a deeper understanding of love, self-worth, and inner expansion. When people who are meant for each other return into each other's lives, something feels quietly different. It is not dramatic or loud. Music, it does not demand attention. Instead, it feels steady. A music, your body relaxes before your mind even grasps why. There is less tension music in your thoughts, less fear about what could go wrong, and far less ego scrambling to prove something. You are no longer performing or shielding yourself the way you once did. What surfaces instead is honesty, the kind that feels natural music and unforced, the kind that needs no explanations or defenses. The connection music feels calmer because both people have already faced chaos separately. It feels deeper because they have looked inward and hear music, seen their own darkness. It feels clearer because illusions have already been destroyed. By it is not perfect, and it never pretends to be perfect, but it is aware. There is music consciousness in how words are chosen, how silence is respected, by how boundaries are honored. There are no games, hey music being played, no concealed intentions, no need to test each other's feelings. There is no confusion about where you stand. There is simply recognition, like encountering a familiar truth again, only this time with wisdom and strength music behind it. And sometimes, even with all of this, those people do not return to each other. This is one music of the most painful truths to absorb. Yet the destiny between them was still real. The connection was not imagined. It was not music a mistake. It was not wasted time. Not all her music destined connections are meant to endure forever. Some are meant to exist only long enough to change you. Some are music meant to enter your life, shake your inner world, and then leave once their role is complete. There are connections that arrive to break cycles, hear music, that have been carried across generations. These are the bonds that expose patterns you absorbed long before you had any choice. They reveal where love was confused to music with sacrifice, where attachment was confused with safety, where silence was confused with peace. These connections force you to see what you have been carrying that was never truly yours to hold. They draw buried pain to music the surface so it can finally be healed rather than repeated. Other connections arrive to teach you self-love when you have been neglecting yourself. They mirror back how you permit yourself to be music treated. Through them you see where you settle, where you shrink, her music, and where you abandon your own needs simply to keep someone near. They wake you to the truth, hey music, that love should not cost you your dignity, your voice, or your sense of music of self. These lessons are difficult, but they are essential. Without them, you might have continued giving too music much and asking for too little. Some destined people awaken emotional depth within you. They make you feel things you had long numbed yourself against. They remind you that you are capable of profound music care, vulnerability, and intimacy. Even if they leave you more open than before. Others' music redirect your entire life's direction. Meeting them transforms the choices you make, the standards you hold, and the path you walk along. They do not stay because their purpose was never to remain. Their role was to prepare you for music, what comes next. That does not make these connections meaningless. It makes them sacred. Sacred things are not always permanent. They matter because of what they ignite in music inside you, not because of how long they endure. Many people wonder why destiny, her music, feels so brutal before it ever feels tender. Why it seems to take from you instead of a music giving. The truth is that destiny does not exist to preserve comfort. Comfort locks you inside familiar patterns. Even when her music, those patterns slowly harm you. Destiny exists to protect your potential. It will allow your heart to shatter before it allows your soul to quietly disappear. It will remove people from your life before it allows you to lose yourself trying to hold them. In the moment this feels a music merciless, you replay every detail. You question your worth. You wonder what you could have done music differently. You feel abandoned by something you trusted deeply. But time slowly reveals what pain could not explain. With distance, you begin to understand how staying would have kept you locked in an older version of yourself. You begin to see that leaving forced growth you were actively avoiding. There is one truth that surfaces again and again: music in destined connections. When two people are truly meant to be together, they are often compelled to music grow separately first. They are separated so illusions can dissolve. They are stripped of fantasies about love, about each other, music, and about themselves. They are confronted with their wounds, their fears, their unhealthy patterns, and the ways they resist taking responsibility for their own healing. Music, this period, is not punishment. It is preparation. It is not a consequence for your past or music choices, your mistakes, or the ways you may have loved too deeply or too little. It is a music, a sacred interval, a space carved out by life itself where the universe, hey music, gently remakes you. During this time, each person is being refined like gold inside a fire, music into a healthier, more authentic version of themselves. the person they were always destined to become. Here you learn lessons that cannot be hurried or music borrowed. You learn boundaries not as walls to keep others out, but as declarations that protect your energy and honor your worth. You learn self-respect, which does not hinge on validation from others, but emerges from a music-quiet understanding of who you truly are at your core. You learn how to love deeply, passionately, and genuinely music without dissolving your own identity in the process. You learn that being chosen by another person is meaningless music if you have not first chosen yourself, and that your sense of wholeness cannot come from someone else's approval. Music, it must rise from within. Only after this inner work begins does destiny start to reveal what follows. Sometimes the music path leads back to reunion, where two people meet again with hearts cleared of illusion, with foundations far stronger than before. Sometimes it leads music to redirection, steering each person towards someone or something else that aligns more naturally music with their growth. Either way, no one walks away unchanged. Something essential shifts music inside, subtle at first, but profound as time passes. The person you were at the beginning of this journey will never music exist in quite the same form again. If you are reading this and thinking of someone, let these words settle in your heart like quiet music rain. You do not need to chase, to force, or to prove anything at all. True destiny never music exhausts. It never demands that you diminish yourself, compromise your integrity, music, or exist in constant anxiety. What is truly meant for you does not arrive wrapped in confusion or fear. It will feel safe, natural, and music right even in its stillness. It will never make you question your value or your worth. It will not ask you to silence yourself, nor will it expect you to accept less than everything you deserve. It will ask only for growth, honesty, music, and courage. The kind that comes from meeting yourself fully, even when it is deeply uncomfortable. And if that person does not return, do not treat it as failure. Do not allow your heart to measure worth in permanence or presence alone. The connection was music, never a test of permanence. It was a teacher. It fulfilled its purpose in shaping music you, guiding you, and strengthening you for everything that comes next. It prepared you to recognize love not in its illusion, but in its truth. Destined music connections are never about possession, certainty, or guarantees. They are about transformation. Music, they arrive at the exact moment you are ready, or precisely when you need to be made ready. They disturb your comfort to illuminate your blind spots. They challenge your old beliefs to create room for healthier, truer ones. They may leave pain behind them, but they also leave clarity, insight, and an unshakable understanding that every moment held meaning. Nothing is wasted. No tear, no longing music, no heartbreak, no disappointment is thrown away. What feels like loss often reveals alignment. What feels like rejection often steers you toward a truer direction. What feels like an ending is often the entrance to a deeper, more enduring relationship with yourself. Destiny does not hurry. Music, it does not rush to explain itself, and it does not bow to your impatience. It asks for patience when you crave answers. It asks for trust when uncertainty presses heavy on your shoulders. And in retrospect, you will see how quietly, relentlessly, music, it guided you all along. Even through moments that hurt the most, even through nights that felt music endless. Honor what has passed without clinging to what could not remain. Treasure the lessons even after the teacher is gone. Be grateful for the love that came and departed, for it was never meaningless. Music, it shaped you, protected you, and readied you for a future far truer than music anything you ever imagined. By trust that what is genuinely meant for you will never ask you to abandon music yourself. What is meant for you will find you in growth, not in fear. It will arrive in clarity, not illusion. It will never require you to shrink to contain it. It will encourage the expansion music of your heart, your mind, and your spirit endlessly. It will bring alignment, peace, and truth. And when it comes, you will know it immediately. Not through music desperation, not through anxiety, but through a quiet, undeniable sense of music rightness. Because in the end, destiny's work is not to hand you what you want. It is to deliver what you need. And in the hands music of destiny, the person you grow into is always the greatest gift of all.